Good afternoon, it's Victor in Hackensack, and I'm reducing a couple of cans of diced tomatoes. No, they're not organic. They used to be, but Costco no longer carries that item. I'm not sure what happened to it. And there's about 8 cloves of very thinly sliced garlic in there, and some dried rosemary, and now I'm adding some fresh oregano and thyme. This is going to get some red wine, and then it's going to reduce so there's not very much liquid in it. This is a lot for the wild salmon that I'm preparing today, but I can always use the extras in omelets and other dishes. It's a rich reduction of tomatoes, some organic, some olive oil, and the garlic and the fresh herbs. I'm going to be adding some red wine to that. This is called Avolto. I've never heard of this. It's an Italian wine. This came from Macy's. The bottle is wrapped in paper. This is a thick, delicious red wine. Just going to let that reduce a little while and season the fish and prepare the stovetop grill that I use. In addition to the tomatoes, I'm going to be adding this mint pesto I just made from fresh mint out in the garden, and it's just some grated Parmesan cheese, extra virgin olive oil, and a bunch of mint that I washed and put in a small blender. So I grabbed a package of this wonderful wild Sockeye salmon from Costco this morning. It's about 2.7 pounds, and the price has dropped to $9.99 a pound. Originally in the first week of June, when only a small quantity came in, it's not been a great season in Alaska for wild salmon. It was $16.99 a pound, so this is a deal. I bought it last week at Whole Foods Market on sale for $11.99 a pound. So I usually cook my salmon for about 7 to 8 minutes. First on the skin side down, and then flip it over when I'm using this stovetop grill. I noticed on the label, I've noticed this before, that it says to cook to an internal temperature of 145 degrees. So I'm going to try that and see how it matches up with the cooking time that I usually use. Meanwhile, I'm just going to season this with some salt and some black pepper. Doing both sides with the salt and the black pepper. I'll let that stand 5 minutes. We're doing some oven roasted potatoes as well with olive oil and some bruschetta mixture. Okay, so the salmon now is on the grill. Okay, so I flipped them after 4 minutes. I usually have only about 6 or 7 pieces and cook them over the burners, which are here and here. But today I had to use this middle area, so the dials are set to medium on both burners. So 7 minutes, 8 minutes pretty much coincides with 145 degrees. Tomatoes are reduced nicely. So now I'm going to dress the fish. First the tomatoes go on the fish. See, most of the liquid is gone. My wife's also steaming some corn. I would be happy with just a great piece of fish or two, some salads. But there's the potatoes we have. Now the mint pesto. I want to use all of this, or I could also use whatever's left over in an omelet tomorrow. And there you go. Fresh, wild sockeye salmon, likely from Alaska. It only says product of the USA on the labels these days. There's a rich reduction of organic diced tomatoes with red wine, garlic, some fresh herbs, and then mint pesto, mint, extra virgin olive oil, and grated Parmesan cheese. Enjoy! Okay. What a great dish. The wild salmon season lasts until early October, but don't wait. This is one of the greatest eating fishes in the world.